Look,
I'm
we're gonna
coming.
start this thing off right, man. What's going on, family?
Brothers, what's going on with you?
Welcome to the I'm a Lot at Times podcast. I'm the host, dlouthetruth. I'm a lot at times, man. This week for guys' night, I got Cuzzos. It's Cuzzos night. Fuck it, we gonna call it Cuzzos night. I got, you know what I'm saying, Take Flight with me. You know, y'all met Take Flight last
What it do,
time. He
y'all?
gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? And I also got my cousin Rob with us tonight, man. Rob, was good with you?
What's going on,
Alright.
family? What is going on?
You know what I'm saying? Last week when we did guys' night, you know, Rob was out on vacation. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying the good life, man. You know, Rod done been all over the world, man. Every time I call Rob, he gone somewhere else, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just glad to have him here with us tonight, man. He said he's gonna come
Okay,
through.
brothers, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay
You
down.
know what I'm saying? Look at him, man. He said
Uh-huh.
he said he's gonna come through and he pulled through, man. So I'm just glad to have you here with us tonight, man.
I
Welcome
try to
to the
be a
show.
man of my word, brother. You
Mhm.
know how I am.
Yeah,
I, I,
absolutely.
I'm gonna be late, but I'm gonna be there. So that's my bad.
It don't matter, dog. You know, the fact that I know you're gonna be there, that means a lot to me. Cause there's a lot of people that say they're gonna be there and they could be there on time and they don't show up at all. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's
you
a
know,
fact.
you being one of the people in my life that's always there when I need you, man. Trust and believe, bro. Like it's
Hey,
greatly
likewise,
appreciated.
nigga. Don't
Yeah.
forget. I mean, brother, don't forget to give you no credit.
You could be yourself on here tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, that's why I bought you on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, be yourself, cause you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Cause people gotta know. Look, this is the irony of it, dog. And it's actually perfect. It'd be a good segue for like one of the first topics, right?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
actually
about
perfect, man. I think a lot of people look at me and we was talking about like the past events, we was talking about all of that or whatever. And I was telling Ken that like, you know, I feel like personally, I don't have to really be like the aggressor because I'm surrounded by so many people who like don't play that shit.
Yeah.
And not like, you know, ain't nobody no tough guys or nothing. It's just zero tolerance for bullshit. Where like I'm kind of more the person that's trying to like, and Kenny was saying it even he was like, he's not the best mediator. Like I'm good at being like, hey man, it's all good. Like, man, we ain't worried about that. Woo, woo. And so it's like at the end of the day, you know, I like the fact that like, you know, I literally dub y'all as like my two favorite cousins. I ain't just saying that. And that's nothing to my cousins because I love all my cousins. But it's just the energy thing. It's the way that we connect. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's the way that we vibe. It's like the balance, right? You know what I'm saying? Is what we have. And I love for y'all to be yourselves because people get to see like who I am through you guys. It's like, man, hey, look, you might have thought I was this person. You might have looked at me and said, hey, man, you know, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. But then you get to see the people that I surround myself with and the people who love me and respect me, and it's just kind of like, hey, it'll change your perspective. It's kind of like when you see that cat and you just be like, he ain't like that, and then everywhere you see, and then you see the people that shaking his hands, and you see the people that you know what I'm saying. He's like, damn, he ain't post no pictures with this person, like, but that's who texting him right. It's like just crazy. So it's like I don't know. I'm saying that to say, you know, I love doing this already. This is the second time we're doing this, but this is something that we're gonna do on a weekly basis. I love doing it because man, I get to really show the world like my circle and just how diverse we are and how dope everybody is. And like the point that I was saying, it was a good segue. It was like we was talking about just all of the successful people that came out of the hood. Like, you know, us being from Compton, California. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Rob grew up on the fold. I grew up. That's how me and Rob initially, you know, how we knew each other. Rob was there from the day I was born on the phone. And it's like at the end of the day, and no street shit or nothing. But it's just
Can
kind of
can
like, man,
y'all hear that in the background?
nah.
Vaguely,
Oh,
but ain't nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
it's like
Yeah.
Beirut outside. I don't know where they got these
Yeah.
fireworks from. Go lay down.
No, I just, you know,
Yeah.
saying that to say we were just talking about how many successful people
Come lay down.
we was talking about how many successful people that we know that came from where we came from. We was talking about, you know, we got on DeMar for a second. We was talking about Kendrick. Ken was just kind of going into the history of like, you know what I'm saying, like the slave, not the slave, I wouldn't say the slave movement or
Just
however you
like
want to.
just like the red line in like Compton.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was pretty much a lot of just a lot of like we couldn't just move anywhere in LA like how motherfuckers move out of state and just come and live anywhere out in LA. It was like it was designated area for,
Come lay
black
down, baby.
people. And ultimately, like if you came out of that area, you would probably be, I mean, like we couldn't even go to Downey. Like Downey is
you couldn't go to Southgate, bro.
or Linwood either, right?
Southgate,
yeah, Downey, Linwood, and Downey
all
are
that.
literally like neighboring cities to Compton. It's like these are
Mhm.
places that you couldn't go. So like
Right.
to have
Mhm.
some kind of understanding for people who maybe tuned in as demographically not from LA. LA is a consistency of like probably like 40 to 50 different cities, and I like to say 40 or 50 different worlds because each city has several different worlds within the city. But ultimately, when it comes to Compton, if you were African American descent, living in LA or Compton, you just had specific areas, and Compton was one of those areas that was designated for Black people to live at. So they wouldn't be seeping out of their hood or going to Beverly Hills or going to Pasadena or going over here. This was an area that was designated for Black people. And like, to be honest, we just wanted our own identity. We wanted our own community. Like,
Mhm.
and I think I'm speaking for my for my uncles and grandparents and ancestors as well too. But I think, just from looking at pictures, just looking at film and seeing how the art and the film and everything kind of came from a small community and kind of grew to be something bigger, to what people identify Compton as like either music or arts or whatever. Like ultimately you can see if you have a little bit of lineage out here, it's just like we just wanted something of our own. We
Yes.
wanted our own identity, and we wanted our own togetherness. And it's like, if you speak with anybody from LA or any kind of inner city area prior to like the drugs hitting in like the 80s, the mid to late 80s, like you will know, like, we had our own stuff. We had our own money. We had our own doctors. We had our own nurses, and we were plentiful for it. I mean, we had a large amount in it. So I'm gonna hand the floor. I'm gonna hand the floor over to Rob, and like I want you to speak on, you know, what it means to be like a second generation, Compton resident.
Cause
Like
you are second generation, right? Cause like we third
Nope.
generation.
we
Okay.
third, yeah. You third generation.
I'm,
Your grandparents are from.
I'm a first generation Californian.
Oh yeah, speak on it. Speak on it. Then.
This is a second generation. Go to sleep.
See,
Night,
I
baby.
told Cuz I
Go to
think
sleep, back.
I think Pops.
No.
I think Pops was the first to come out here from your family.
Yeah. So we on my dad's side, me and my little brother, we the first people to be born in California.
Uh,
Yeah, we the first people to be born in California. But I definitely understand when you say, LA is made up of a lot of different cities and a lot of different suburbs that is attached to that, and each and every one is its own. I do
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. Each and every
mhm.
one is its own world. But coming from Compton, right, and then recognizing not only how things was when we grew up, like in the late '80s and then the late '90s, but understanding the art and the culture and the graffiti art, the
Mm-hmm.
the musical culture, the sports history, Sweet Lucas speak to that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The just so many different things did come out of the city. Not only negatively, but a lot of different positive things, a lot of different positive role
Mhm.
models. A lot of people came through those Centennials, those Compton Highs, those Dominguezes that actually made a huge impact on the city and where we are today. So I would consider myself a first generation Californian. I mean,
Let
a
me
first generation Compton, being born
Mm-hmm.
there.
let
It
me
means a
interject.
lot.
Let
What's
me
up?
interject briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Briefly. I was just, I just got back from family vacation. We was in Vegas for about a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I was sitting there watching on ESPN. They got this series called In the Arena, I believe it's called, and it had Serena Williams on there, right? And you know what blew my mind, bro, was like Venus and Serena was the number one and number two in tennis in the world for
Love them.
years, bro.
Love them.
And they straight out of Compton, California. And like, here's the thing, bro. Like, they not legends because we want them to be legends, bro. They legends because they dominated that sport for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's major. And it's like, we definitely. I like that Kendrick said what he said on the little, not like us. He was like, don't ever speak on Serena, like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he said to Drake is like, they not just legends because they from our city, bro. Those is two legends. You know what I'm saying? In the sport of tennis
But
Mm-hmm.
worldwide.
think about every legend from our city, right?
Absolute Dr. Dre.
They're not just legends because we decided, oh, these are our legends.
Yeah,
They're
like
legends because they put in the work to
Yeah.
you know, worldwide, they put in the work. Y'all see, I'm gonna have more than technical difficulties now.
It's
Nah,
all
you
good.
good. You good. You good, man.
You know, it's the irony of what you're saying too, though,
We
is
all
like
fathers.
irony
Hey.
of what you're saying too is like you said he put it to work. It's like I tell people all the time, like, because I was at the courthouse when Kendrick shot the Not Like Us video, right?
Mhm.
And I seen Roddy Rich, I seen DeMar, I seen K Dot. It's
And
like
a lot of niggas that we
a
knew growing up.
lot of people we
Yes.
grew up with,
Like
you
I
know.
literally saw like
But
one of my homies, and I went to his Instagram. And was like, I knew your ass was there.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. Everything. It's crazy though. The point that I'm making is like to us, they not. It's not even. It's not even like. It's not even a. It's not even a. It's not even like a crazy thing to us. Like it almost felt like you saw your cousin or something. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was really like, and I say that with respect to them and they successes. Like nobody was fanned out or nothing. It just really felt like your cousin was back home for a family reunion or something.
Yeah.
That was the vibes, and it was just kind of like when you see them doing the shit they doing, like even because me and Kim was talking during the Kendrick and the Drake exchanges and all that, and like Kim was like, "How you felt?" I was like, "I just felt like that was a Compton nigga. Like that's how we talk shit." You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even bleed him yet. Can I bleed him back? When I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches. I
So
believe you don't like women. It's real competition. You might pop ass with them. Let's speak on percentage. Some of your shit, I'll make sure I double back with you. You was signed to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. That's some content
that's just
shit, bro.
basic clowning at Compton High. That's just
That's what
basic.
we do. Like, you know what I'm
But
saying? Like,
to speak
everybody
to
like,
that point,
oh, I'm like, oh, he on that nigga.
to
You know
speak
what
to
I'm
that
saying?
point, to speak to that point about how, you know, when you
Bars,
see a
nigga.
celebrity or something like that, it's kind of like, oh, just like one of our relatives pulling up or something like that. People don't really realize how people from the city really ride with people from the city when we have a greater goal, bigger than our own beef in the city.
That's what Take Flight was just saying.
I was just saying that,
That's what
bro.
Cuzzo
I
was
was
just
just
saying.
saying
Like,
that, big
it's
bro.
automatic. You know
Because
what I'm
it's
saying?
like I was just speaking on like you know, like I don't personally know DeMar's family. I don't know nothing about it, but it's like we saw DeMar's ascension from Enterprise Middle School. Like
Nice.
literally, I was at Compton. Like D-Lou knew before me because he would probably play them a little bit more frequently. I went to a private school in Compton, and literally we were at a Compton. It was a Compton middle school tournament. We at Compton College, and everybody know you go to the gym in Compton College. Right upstairs, you got the little gymnasium, little area. So we stretching over there. We running little warm ups. All you hear is oh, oh. So we look over. It's like a little balcony. The gym area, if you're not familiar with the Compton,
Niggas going crazy.
the Compton College gym, which it might have been renovated, but back in the day, I don't know how it is now. I haven't been there in a while. But the Compton Community College gym, it pretty much had like the gym on pretty much the floor level. And then pretty much like on the second story level, it was like a gymnasium area where people could kind of it had a balcony that you could oversee the gym downstairs. So we just peek over there literally every fucking 10 to 15 seconds. Sorry, babies. I'm sorry for cussing. Literally every 15 seconds or so, DeMar is just dunking. And he had a 7-foot dude, Mexican name. I don't know if he was Mexican. The dude Edgar.
Right.
Bro, there was middle school partner. So he had a 7-foot dude. DeMar probably like
Edgar
6'4".
Perez. I
Bro.
know him.
And DeMar was about like 6'4", 6'5", if not probably like 6'2", to like if we're gonna talk on the low end. But he was just he was already a man boy jumping out the gym, and it's like to kind of see his game maturate to really where I followed DeMar for a long time. He was at USC. His jumper wasn't really like that. End up coming into the league probably like second or third year, he started developing a jumper. His game was actually starting to emulate Kobe's. And just starting to see him get a mid-range game, and to a point now everybody considered DeMar one of the best midi assassins. So he has a complete mid-range that's like lethal, and it's because Kobe influencing him. Kobe being an LA basketball player and have a big influence on all these LA. I mean, not everybody believed in Kobe for a long time. I know Mamba mentality is something new when you saw Kanye West in the commercial, but for a long time, not everybody really believed Kobe was really like that.
Right.
Nobody in LA felt like that. Everybody in LA knew. All the young niggas knew. And it's like, you know what I mean? DeMar was one of those, and to see him kind of emulate and take things from his game coming from
he
middle
was like
school.
he was like, you know, you think about it, he was like the new generation because we had Tyson and Tayshaun too.
No, that's a
You know
fact.
what I'm saying? Like
He's better than both of them. I don't
Tayshaun,
individually.
The NBA champion. I mean,
Demar's
NBA
better.
champion.
Demar's better than both of them niggas as an individual. I won't say at like Tayshaun and Tyson. They had a phenomenal career. Tayshaun Prince is actually not talked about enough, bro. Like the
So
game
he
that
just got a
Tayshaun
quiet.
Prince.
He got a quiet game. You know.
Well,
Stay quiet.
well, more so than just that, like, and not to cut you off, D. Lou. I know I'm being
No,
a little long,
man, come
but
on.
ultimately, when it comes to like the type of player that they want, say, the player that they chose over Jaylen Brown in the Olympics is Derek White. Derek White is a miniature Tayshaun Prince, 3-and-D.
Yeah.
He's gonna hustle all and play
Talking
all
about
the
my man
defense
from the Celtics.
from the Celtics. A dog too,
Yeah,
bro.
he nice too. He
Bro,
nice.
and think about it. I called him being a fucking dog because I saw his game somewhat developing when he was on the
He look the
Spurs.
facilitator for the Celtics.
Super facilitator. He's playing somewhat of a Draymond Green role, but a little bit elevated because he can guard.
He a guard.
He can guard guards up to the big man. Where Draymond was guarding, I'll say probably like twos at the lowest, twos
You
to
know what
fives.
it was? You know what it was? They were shooting on that nigga forehead, and he shaved his head and was like, "I'm about to win a championship on y'all."
Bro, I wish I did have that 5, 6, 7 head on my team. I don't give a fuck.
They was on him. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
He was like, "We're gonna win a championship."
And
Niggas want to crack jokes.
And I tell them just like this, bro. Y'all can talk that talk.
Yeah.
Let my light skin 3 come in the game off the bench. He clamping everything down.
Hey, he was starting. He was starting in the playoffs,
bro. And he not jumping on pump fakes, bro. He's like such a like. I like his game. It's like I like those nuanced players who are like you don't jump off the paper, but when you see this dude in rotation, he's a factor. And it's like I think you know, like I'm never anybody on the collegiate level or like professional level, like athlete, but I do think, you know, like I was one of those players that were like, you know, I had to earn my respect, and it's like it took time, ultimately. And with Derek White, you can see that it took time, and like right now, it's his time to be whatever people deem him to be, and he's Olympic all-star. I don't care what nobody says.
Yeah, but I was about to say he's doing everything he's supposed to do to, you know what I'm saying, to put respect on his name.
Nah, that's
you
a
know
fact.
What I'm saying? Back to the city talk. I was like, I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, I remember when Richard spazzed out, and that wasn't even spazzing out to us, and they tried to make it a big deal. It's like,
I apologize, fellas.
No, you good. I actually wanted to segue back to the city before. Can I say something before Richard?
Go ahead.
Nigga, I remember the first time I walked down to Rob house on Donovan and Rob Old Block, man. It was just like, because I'm used to walking down to my partner house, and it's like, you know, Donovan came
on
in.
the folks, it's 9-0.
Yeah, and my street I lived on in Inglewood was wider. Their street was a little bit more narrow, but it was like on one. I don't mean to drop the address, but D-Lou stayed off of one.
No, gotta say it.
Okay. So pretty much the street
we would take Compton Ave, Grandee though.
I mean, we don't have to talk too much about the specifics, but ultimately it was a cool thing just being able to have other friends at my cousin's house. And Rob was one of the first people. Rob, Terrell, literally, like it was Rob and Terrell. Rob, Terrell, Keenan, Donovan, and we'll literally play ball in the street up until like my uncle moved around the corner. But it was always cool, just kind of just mobbing down there and actually having some people to fuck with me from the first day that I met him. And
Let me say this real quick.
Love.
Let me say this real quick. I got a song. It's called "Keep It Player." I said, and it's funny. I got both of these guys on here. I said, I gotta stay true. Shout out to Shane. He told me throw that in my name. Shout out to Miller for throwing D-Lou on that chain. 18K. That I could wait. Hey, show me your chain, cuz what you got on your neck?
What you got on
your look at
it.
Hey, look. So you know, every time when you listen to my music, I ain't making shit up. Everything I'm rapping is real life. This who got me my chain from Kuwait. And this who gave me my name, dog. You know what I'm saying? We was sitting at the crib.
Hey, hold on. What that Rolly bracelet I gave you, man? You over here?
Hey, hold on.
You ain't gotta go get it. You ain't gotta go get it.
Rolly bracelet?
Hey, man, I gave my guy the Rolly.
No, but you know what, Ken? Ain't that crazy though? Like people like, oh, y'all cousins? Man, I call that nigga my brother if I ain't have to explain one of my parents had an illegitimate child. Nigga, it's just easier to call him my cousin. It's crazy how literally, like, I mean, you can count what 30-something years of, I don't call people my friend.
No.
30-something years of being family. Ain't that shit crazy?
It's beautiful, man. It was funny because it's like I ain't seen Pops in a minute, and then when we were at the park for Uncle Wes, and I saw him, I was like, I looked at, we was playing. He asked me if I want to play domino. I sit down and I look at Unc. I'm like, I was like, Uncle Rob. I was like, but it was just like it just took like it's just certain like male figures in my life that make me feel like a kid, and that was one of them because I mean, he was my coach. I mean, he wouldn't. I don't know what he considers himself, but it's like he was a coach when I was playing baseball, and he was more so for conditioning and discipline. Like he was one of like we just had a lot like for the people that are listening. And not to make this a super competent like podcast or anything, like we had like just to make it a like a black fatherhood type of thing. We had a
I'm
lot of
actually
black
sick right
fathers
now, bro,
around.
because my
You'll
roller,
find it,
my
bro. Don't
Rolly
trip.
bracelet is literally
Hey,
where
but you
I keep
killing my
my
point.
chain at, and it ain't right there. So one of the
Relax,
kids probably
relax.
threw it on and took it to school or something.
But
But I ain't
ultimately,
mad at it, man. If it's gonna get boy a chick or two, go ahead. So I ain't mad at you.
nah,
Hold
especially
up, Ken. Go
Bosu.
ahead, finish.
But
Yeah.
ultimately, for the people out there that are listening, I'm not trying to make this a super Compton podcast. We can take it out of Compton for a hot second because we've been Compton for like 21 minutes. But
No, that's the whole
ultimately,
point of this.
we had a